Well, I've decided to mount a Garmin zūmo XT2 on my 2003 Harley Davidson Road King. Yeah, paper maps are fine, but when you get into places that are a little more confusing, where you need to keep turning off your motorcycle and walking around to the back and getting out your map, turning to the right page, figure out what your next turn is, that's not very convenient. And I started missing the Garmin that I have in my truck. I started missing that on the motorcycle, especially on multi-day trips when you got to keep stopping the bike and getting out and checking the map. It's going to be a lot nicer just to have it right here on the handlebars. Well, I did something I've never done before. I bought from Amazon, I bought used like new to save $100 on it. And I bought a TUSITA mount to go on the handlebars. And that looks pretty good. That actually looks really robust. But let's get started in wiring this up. By the way, used like new, it came perfectly packaged, just like from the factory, with the instructions and everything all in there. It looked like a brand spanking new unit. Well, I already opened everything up and I've gone through everything. But like I said, when I first opened this box, and this box was still, looked like it was originally sealed with the tape and everything. So I don't know, it looked new to me. Anyways, there was the Garmin unit itself, the zūmo, and then there's the various mounting brackets in here, the screws. This is part of the original mount, cable ties. It was all just looked factory inside this box, like it was just, you know, brand spanking new. So that's what you get. And then, of course, I ordered this mount to go on it, this TUSITA mount. This part here is from the Garmin itself. This is what it snaps into. So this wasn't part of the TUSITA mount here. But this actually looks really good. It's heavy duty. So I guess I'll start by mounting this on the handlebars, and then I'll show you how I wire it. I decided to mount it over here on the left side of center on the handlebars because I figured it'll be my left hand that's using this most often, right hand on the throttle. And I got to admit, it was a little tough getting this on here and squeezing the rubber on this these are 1 1/4 inch bars. It'd be easier, like on most motorcycles, have a 1-inch bar. But anyway, it did go on. It came with the proper rubber inserts, and I've got it on there now. I'll see what the rest of the unit fits like before I snug it down. I'll have to see what that feels like. So here's what I was concerned with. Making sure it didn't touch the speedometer when I had the handlebars cranked all the way over. And also being able to open up the glove box here, which I can still do. That'll work. Also, it's got to be able to come off easy, like when you go into a store or a motel or something like that. You need to be able to reach around and get it off. Now, it wires up inside the headlight nacelle here. So we'll get the windshield off first, get it out of the way, and I'll get the bezel off here. The bezel itself is just one single Phillips head screw here down on the bottom. And pull up from the bottom. Mine took just a little bit of persuading here with a screwdriver because it's tight up against the headlight here. But that's just mine with the way my headlight is adjusted. That's how you get the bezel off. And then there's 5 Phillips head screws around the perimeter here that take the rest of this off. And then you can see the wiring behind. you go. The headlight has a connector on the back. You squeeze both sides and you should be able to pull it out. Ugh. There we go. Now, exactly what wire to tap into. I'll figure that out. Okay, I found 2 extra wires in here. One is black, which is negative, and then I found an orange and white one here. And I looked it up and found out that it goes to the front fender tip light, which I don't have. So I'm going to go ahead and tap into that. The way I figured it out was by looking it up in the manual. I use this Climber manual here. Looked up what bike I have, and then looked for the orange and white wire and found out that it went to the front fender tip light right here. So yeah, it'd be okay to use that one. Okay, the Garmin comes with like, I don't know, 8 feet of wire on it or something like that. But I'm going to start by running the wire down through the top of the nacelle here, right on the just below the handlebar. That should be pretty neat. And from there, it just goes forward into the nacelle itself. Right through here. This is the wire here. Now I would shorten this wire and neaten it up, but there's a chance I'm going to use this Garmin zūmo on my Yamaha TW200, and that would run kind of back towards the battery, to where the battery's at. So I'm going to just coil this up neatly and stow it inside the nacelle here. There's room for it. Okay, I just tied this up out of the way, off to one side, and here's my 2 wires. I'm going to hook those up now. These wires are already tinned with a little solder, so I don't need to do anything else to them. I just wanted to give myself a little more room for the connector, which I did. These are special crimp pliers that I have, but you could use vice grips to do this. It just won't be quite as neat as all. And just crimp them down tight. There we go, there's one. And there's the other one. Just going to hook them up and wrap them with tape, and it should be good. Before I do that though, I'm going to check and make sure that Garmin's working. When it comes to electrical tape, there's good electrical tape and there's bad electrical tape. Like the cheap stuff you might buy at Walmart, which is stiff and doesn't stick very well. Always buy high quality 3M electrical tape. Easy to use, it molds to the really well, and it's sticky. Always buy the good stuff. And never pull it to break it. Always cut it, because when you pull it to break it, it stretches, and then the one thing the electrical tape wants to do is stretch back. So always cut it, don't pull it to break it. Okay, just a matter of putting the headlight back in and this job is done. So the Garmin's installed, it's ready for the road. Just wanted to show you how easy that is to do. Anyways, that's the Garmin zūmo XT2. See you around.